My heart nearly stopped when the hospital fundraising coordinator announced the anonymous donor's name, my name on the giant ceremonial check for $1.5 million. I'd never donated a penny to this hospital. I was only here because my sister worked in pediatric oncology and had begged me to attend this donor recognition gala. They need to see more young faces, she'd said. Just wear something nice and eat the free food. So I'd put on my one decent suit purchased 3 years ago for job interviews after college and was quietly enjoying the open bar when my world tilted sideways. And our final recognition goes to our most generous anonymous donor whose contribution will fully fund our new pediatric cancer wing, the coordinator announced, beaming at the crowd of wealthy benefactors. Though they requested anonymity, we feel recognition is deserved. Please join me in thanking Tyler Morgan. The spotlight found me as confused applause erupted. I stood frozen champagne flute halfway to my lips as 500 people in designer evening wear turned to stare at me. Before I could speak, I was being ushered to the stage. The coordinator pressed the giant check into my hands and whispered, "Your generosity will save countless children." I looked out at the sea of faces. My sister stood near the back, her expression a mixture of shock and confusion. Beside me, a photographer motioned for me to smile. "There here has been a mistake," I finally managed. "I didn't know such modesty." The coordinator laughed into the microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is what true generosity looks like. Mr. Morgan donated his entire inheritance from his late grandfather to our hospital, and at only 26 years old, my grandfather had died last month. I'd received a letter from his attorney mentioning a modest bequest, but hadn't yet gone to the reading of the will. I'd been working double shifts at the warehouse, trying to make rent. As I stood there, a memory surfaced: my grandfather in his hospital bed, wheezing through his last days. Gave us 20 more years together, remember that, Tyler?" I'd nodded, not understanding now. As camera flashes blinded me, a man in an expensive suit approached the stage. "Thomas Wilkins," he said quietly. "Your grandfather's attorney, may I have a word? Your grandfather's estate was worth approximately $1.5 million. His will specified that it should go to the hospital's pediatric oncology wing, but that the donation should appear to come from you." "Why would he do that?" I asked, still stunned. He was quite specific. He said, "My grandson needs two things. He believed this would give you both." I returned to the stage in a daze. Looking out at the audience, I saw something I'd never experienced before: respect, admiration, and doors opening that I hadn't even known existed. "Thank you," I said simply. "My grandfather taught me that we're defined by what we give, not what we have." Words I hadn't planned but somehow knew were true. After the ceremony, I was surrounded by hospital board members, business leaders, and philanthropists. A tech CEO offered me a job interview. A nonprofit director asked if I'd consider joining their board. My sister hugged me with tears in her eyes. "Did you know?" she whispered. "Not until tonight," I answered truthfully. 6 months later, I sat in my new office at the Children's Hospital Foundation, where I'd been hired as their youngest ever development officer. My warehouse job was a memory. On my desk sat a small plaque with my grandfather's photo. The hospital director poked her head in. "That tech millionaire you met at the gala, he's considering a $10 million donation. He specifically asked for you to lead the project." I nodded, thinking about how a single night had changed everything. Later, I visited the construction site of the new pediatric cancer wing. Workers were installing a sign, the Edward Morgan Radio Center, named for my grandfather. Beneath it, a smaller line read. As I watched, a young mother approached me. "Are you Tyler Morgan?" When I nodded, she continued, "My daughter will be treated here. The doctors say this new wing has technology they couldn't access before." Her eyes filled with tears. "Thank you," I smiled, feeling my grandfather's presence. "I am just the messenger," I said. "But I am learning that's an important job too. Sometimes the inheritance that changes your life isn't the money, but the example."